I was terrible at English, but I challenged myself to start a YouTube channel about learning it. This is day 100 out of 360. Welcome to today's episode. We are going to talk about someone who's known all around the world, Elon Musk. You might know him from his electric cars, rockets, and big dreams of changing the world with new technology. But his story isn't just about success, it's also about big challenges and failures along the way. Imagine starting with nothing, making huge mistakes, but still pushing forward. That's what Elon did. He failed many times, but today he is one of the richest men in the world. It's a story that shows us that failure is just a step to success. Before we dive into Elon's amazing journey, hit that subscribe button if you are here to learn English with stories of people who never gave up. This channel is for you. And don't worry, I'm here to make it fun and easy. Now, let's begin. Today, Elon Musk is one of the most famous people in the world. He builds rockets. He makes electric cars. He is a billionaire. But how did it all start? Before Tesla, before SpaceX, before all the success, Elon was just a quiet boy in South Africa. He wasn't popular. He wasn't strong. But he had one special thing: curiosity. As a child, he didn't spend much time outside. While other kids played soccer, he stayed home and read books. He loved science and technology. He asked questions. How do rockets work? How can computers change the world? At 12 years old, he did something amazing. He created his first video game, Blaster. It was a simple game where you had to destroy enemy ships. He sold it for $500. That was his first success. But life wasn't easy. He was often alone. At school, other kids bullied him. One day, they pushed him down the stairs. He was hurt, but he never stopped learning. Even back then, he had a dream to change the world. Elon Musk's big dream was to build something that could change the world. But to do that, he needed to go to the United States, the land of opportunity. At 17, Elon made a big decision. He left South Africa and moved to Canada. Why Canada first? It was easier to get to the US from there. He didn't have much money. In Canada, he worked hard to pay for school. Sometimes he didn't have enough money for food or rent, but he kept going. Elon didn't just want to go to any school, he wanted to go to the best universities. He applied to two big schools in the US, Stanford and Queen's University in Canada. He chose the US. In America, Elon studied business and physics. It wasn't easy. He worked many hours studying and learning because he knew this was his chance. America gave him the tools to dream big. He wanted to build a better future. But first, he had to work hard and make his way through difficult times. Elon Musk's first big success was not with electric cars or rockets. It was with something called PayPal. Let's think of it like this. Imagine you are in a big store and you want to buy something but you don't have cash. What do? You use your credit card, right? Well, in the 90s, paying online was a bit like trying to buy something without a store accepting cards. In 1999, Elon Musk saw this problem. He wanted to make it easier for people to send money online. Think of it like setting up a fast highway for money to travel across the world. That's when he started a company called X.com. At first, X.com wasn't just paper. It was a little bit like a big building with many rooms. Some rooms for banks and some rooms for paying bills. But one room, the PayPal room, was what people really wanted. People could send money quickly without using banks. It was simple, like sending an email but with money. Eventually, X.com became PayPal. PayPal was like a wallet in your pocket, but it lived on the internet. People loved it. It made life easier. PayPal was sold for more than $1 billion. Elon didn't stop there. He had money, but he was already dreaming about the big thing: electric cars and space travel. After selling PayPal, Elon Musk could have rested, enjoyed his money, and lived a simple life. But that wasn't enough for him. He had a much bigger vision. He wanted to change the world with electric cars and space travel, but it wasn't easy. Elon's first big project was Tesla. He wanted to make electric cars that were not only good for the environment, but also cool and fast. But starting a car company from scratch is like trying to build a rocket from pieces of scrap metal. Tesla was nearly out of money. The company needed $40 million to survive. Elon had just sold PayPal, but even with his money, it was short. He put $55 million of his own money into Tesla. It was like betting his entire future on the company. Despite all his effort, Tesla's first cars weren't perfect. The Roadster, Tesla's first car, had problems. It broke down often and people doubted Elon's idea. Some even said electric cars would never succeed, but Elon didn't give up. By 2020, Tesla's stock had increased in value by more than 1,000%. That means for every dollar invested, Tesla's value grew by 10 times. Today, Tesla is one of the most valuable car companies in the world. It was more than 800 billion, but it all started with a huge risk. At the same time, Elon was also working on something equally crazy, SpaceX. He wanted to send rockets into space. He started SpaceX with a budget of 100 billion. The first 3 rocket launches were a total failure. One rocket exploded, another crashed into the ocean, and the third one couldn't even lift off. It was like a series of accidents in a video game, except these were real rockets and real money. Elon spent almost all his money. He had just one last chance to make it work. The 4th rocket launch succeeded, and SpaceX became the first private company to send a rocket to space and return it safely to Earth. This success was huge. SpaceX rockets are now used by NASA, and they are much cheaper than government rockets. Elon had failed many times, but his risk paid off. Today, Elon Musk is like the captain of a spaceship, not just in space, but in the world of technology. He's leading the charge with Tesla and SpaceX, and his companies are changing the way we think about cars and space travel. Think of it like this: if the world were a huge puzzle, Elon Musk is the person who sees the big picture, while everyone else is focusing on one small piece. He is already thinking about how the whole puzzle can fit together. He is connecting the dots between electric cars, space exploration, solar power, and artificial intelligence. But Elon isn't stopping here. His vision for the future is like building a new city on another planet. He wants to make life multiplanetary by sending people to Mars. He believes that humanity's future is not on Earth, but beyond. SpaceX's ultimate goal is to build a self-sustaining colony on Mars. He's also working on things like self-driving cars and solar energy solutions, which are all pieces of the big puzzle he's building. It's like he is creating a new world, one step at a time. Elon Musk's stories teaches us an important lesson. He never gave up. He faced many problems, made mistakes, and sometimes lost everything. But he worked hard, kept trying, and eventually he succeeded. Think about it like this. Imagine you are learning how to ride a bike. At first, you fall. Maybe you even hurt yourself. But with each try, you get better, and eventually, you can ride without falling. Elon's story is just like that. He kept getting up after every fall. His story shows us that if you have a dream, even if it feels impossible, don't stop. Keep going, even when it's hard. One day, you will see the results. This was the story of Elon Musk. He is proof that failure is part of success. Keep chasing your dreams, and I'll see you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about inspiring people, don't forget to subscribe. Join me on this journey of learning English and discovering amazing stories. See you next time!